Hello everyone and welcome back to another live uncensored video which happens every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Be sure to mark your calendar or turn on the notifications so that you don't miss out on this opportunity to chat live. Sometimes I have a subject matter in mind, a theme, or there's a question coming or something, and other times, actually I should say every time, it's always so great to have you guys here live to interact, to share your thoughts, to ask questions, to make this kind of an open forum for us all to connect. Kim is here. Kim, I really just want to give you such a shout out for being such a dedicated person in the eco-vegan gal community. And speaking of community, I forgot to post this in the description, but you guys, you are the very first to know about something. Are you ready for this? So I have been working on Eco Vegan Pal for a long time. I also want to give a shout out to Green Dragon, who's a regular Eco Vegan Gal viewer, so thank you, and participator I should say. Thanks for being here too. Remind me of your first name. And anyway, so Eco Vegan Pal, you've probably heard me talk about it, especially those of you who watch the videos regularly, and I've been working on it very seriously for about, what is it now, like 8 months, but really the concept of Eco Vegan Pal has been in my head for years, and I finally launched the platform. I picked this incredible platform that I'm absolutely thrilled with. I don't know if you guys heard the story of it, but the short version of it is at the end of May, I discovered this platform. I decided to just go for it, gave it a try. It felt so right. I've had beta testers, beta members in there for the past few weeks, and they all love it. And hi, Alicia. I'm glad you're here live. And then for me, I was like, okay, I feel like this is the right platform for Eco Vegan Pal, but I'm not 100% sure. And then like a few days ago, they released this notice about how they were adding more updates, more features to it. So I just thought, you know what, I think this is it. So I'm almost 100% committed to it, and I'm super excited about it. And I wanted you guys to be the very first to know about the fact that the doors are open starting today. I was hoping to have the like information landing page for it all complete. Right now it's up, it's running, you can look at it, you can become a member right now if you want to, and I wanted you guys to be the very first to know about it because there is a special deal going on for it. So first of all, I'm just accepting annual members for Eco Vegan Pal right now because I want a very committed community before I open it up to people that just want to go month to month, which tend to be people that maybe aren't quite sure about it yet. So I want to just really get this great group of very strong annual members in there. So right now you can buy an annual membership and there's a bunch of bonuses. I'm going to be adding more to it. So whenever you buy, you'll get the bonuses. But if you become an Eco Vegan Pal member as early as today, you get the first 10 to 12 people, I think I can do 12 people, are going to get customized care packages from me. So I have some incredible products to send out to you, and I'm going to customize them as much as I possibly can, and that's in super limited quantities. I think I can do 12 boxes, so I'll make 12 boxes happen. So if you're one of the first 12 people to sign up for Eco Vegan Pal, a new member by the way, so if you're not already a member, because I opened up the doors for the no meat athlete deal that I did last year. If you're a new member as in starting today of Eco Vegan Pal, an annual new member, and you're one of the first 12 people to sign up, you will get this personalized care package from me. And you'll also get a free copy of the Healthy Organic Vegan on a Budget ebook, and I'm going to probably put in a few more things in there that I'm still working on. But anyways, I wanted to have it up and live for you, like, it is live. Sorry, I'm stumbling through this. Before I get to the topic, I promise I'm going to talk about what the title says, but this is just kind of like the precursor for those of you who are super eager. You can go to ecoveganpal.com right now and sign up And again, you guys are the very first because I wanted you guys to have the opportunity to get the care package before I send it out to my mailing list. So if you're eager to join Eco Vegan Pal, you're ready to get it, you want to learn more about it, go to ecoveganpal.com. I'll put it in the description field. I forgot to do that before I went live. If you go there right now, you can sign up for the annual membership. And again, 2 months free copy of Healthy Organic Vegan on a Budget for you, or if you have somebody else, or if you already have a copy, you can give it to somebody else. And you also can be one of the first 12 people that will get the special care package from me. And it'll be like all these goodies. If you guys remember, I did this special thing called the surprise box last year, and it was a hit, and I just sent out all these special care packages to people, and I had more people interested than I could send them out to. I think I did like 30 boxes. It was so much fun because I like put together these little care packages. This is actually a really cool example. I joined a online course recently, and they sent me a care package, so I got to see what it was like. This is my dream, is to do it like a customized box. They have like their logo on here, and then you open it up, it's all pretty inside, and they had like a card, handwritten note to me, and like all these little gifts. There was more in here, and it was like the sweetest thing. And so now I just want to do that for everything. So my goal is to like make these custom boxes. That's not what you're gonna get yet, but yours won't look quite as fancy and pretty as this one, but it'll have really good stuff in it. I have tons of incredible products I've been saving for this, like books and full-size like products like bracelets and food products and I mean, it's right behind me, but I'm not gonna show you guys what's available because I don't even know. Maybe I'll do another video and I'll go through and show you guys what's in there. But anyways, ecoveganpal.com. It is the like baby stages of the website, so you guys are seeing like, if you go to the site right now, it's like just the like kind of like, I don't want to call it a draft, but I have a lot of like design work to do on the website, so you can just see like the nuts and bolts. I don't know. What do you call it when it's in that stage? I'm not sure. Anyways, ecoveganpal.com is live right now. You guys are the very first to know. I have not talked about it on social media today or sent out a newsletter, so it's all for you guys watching this video today before the public knows about it, because I feel just such a deep connection with you guys. So if you want to say hello at any point, if you have a question, a comment, a suggestion, a recommendation, a request, an anecdote, anything that you want to share today, I'd love to hear it. Today's topic, by the way, I feel like I maybe have been watching a little too much Trisha Paytas. Do any of you guys watch her or know who she is? She's a YouTube personality, and sometimes as I go through these phases where I really enjoy watching her videos, it's kind of like watching like the Kardashians or something, because she's just such a fascinating character with an interesting life, in my opinion. And she does these super long videos, and she just sits there and rambles on, and she eats food, and like there often she doesn't get to the topic of the video until like way far into the video. So I feel like I'm pulling a Trisha right now, but that's fine because that's just what it is today. So anyways, today's topic, I thought, unless any of you guys have another direction you want to go in, because this is live, but I thought that I would begin this video at least talking about how to get out of a funk, which is something that I can relate to a lot, and I've talked about a number of times in these videos about being in funks, about being in challenging times, and I, for the most part, feel like I'm out of the big funk that I was in. If you saw last week's video, I actually loved that topic. It's a short video too, because I only had like 15 minutes to record last week, and I loved talking about this subject matter, which was about going through different seasons of your life. So if you haven't watched that yet, please go see it, because I think a lot of you guys can really relate to it. Anyways, so you know, I talked about in that last video how I went through this season of what some people would call like a winter season, where you're not really planting seeds, you're not getting a harvest. It's like kind of a down period, a break period, a relaxed period of your life. And I really went through that at the end of last year and beginning of this year. And fortunately, I'm out of it. And similar, as I talked about in in that last video, it's always cute to see what Evie's doing in the back. She loves going up on those pillows. I just love it when she goes up there. It's so cute. I do kind of want to pause and give you guys a quick little Evie story. She just met Jason Robel's new kitten, and I think he posted about it on his Instagram story. So if you go to Jason Robel's Instagram story, he's been posting all about his new kitten that he rescued, and I'm obsessed with this kitten. And Evie met the kitten for the first time just a few hours ago, and it was very sweet, so she's exhausted. Anyways, so in that last video talking about these different seasons and how when you're in a season of winter, you're kind of like taking a break, you're not planting any seeds, you're not harvesting, and then in the spring you're planting the seeds, you're getting ready, and then the spring's also the end of spring, you know, you start to harvest, and summer is kind of a harvesting time, things are in bloom, things are flowering, and you can look at your life like that. And so it's funny to me how my life in this past year has been completely in alignment with the seasons. My funk happened in the winter, and I slowly started to come out of the funk and plant my seeds in the spring. And then now it's almost summer, and I feel like things are really moving forward, and I'm harvesting, and things are going really well. But that doesn't mean that I always feel that way. And you know, for those of you that don't know, Jason is pretty much my best friend, at least in Los Angeles. I have a best friend from childhood, so I always like to, I don't like to ever exclude her from the best friend conversation, but Jason and I hang out almost every single day. We have so much in common. We have so many similar passions. We used to date, so we have this long history of knowing each other in a really deep level. And one thing that we've talked about a lot lately is the season thing, but also how to work through resistance. This was something we were talking a lot about either yesterday or the day before, and I think it was yesterday, just how easy it is to succumb to resistance, how easy it is to feel like you're in a funk and not let yourself get out of it. And I feel like this is really relevant for me today because I kind of feel like I'm in a funk, mainly because I don't think I got enough sleep, to be very practical about it. But I have a lot of things I need to accomplish in a short amount of time. This week especially, I'm up against a bunch of deadlines. And instead of getting stressed out about it, I've just had to schedule it, and I've had to commit to the things that I've scheduled. However, I'm finding a lot of resistance coming up. I'm finding that it's challenging for me to follow a schedule and to get everything done in the timeline that I say I'm going to. So it's as if I'm not in integrity with my own word. How many of you guys can relate to this? Let me know at any point in a live comment or recorded comment afterwards if you can relate to anything that I'm talking about here. So this feeling of wanting to do things, of wanting to accomplish goals, but finding yourself in resistance or finding yourself in a funk where you don't feel like you can take action, you don't want to take action, it feels like things are working against you, that's really challenging. And for me, to get out of that has been as simply as just putting my mind to it and just doing it, which is like the simplest advice anybody could give you, right? I mean, we all know that. It's like, yeah, just do it. But I find like there's an interesting level where you know that you can simply just do something, and you know that, yeah, you just know that you could, and maybe you feel like you should, which is a word I try to use sparingly, but because sometimes should can turn into guilt or pressure or negative things, right? But let's just say that you have a goal. Perfect example is your body. So you want to be in good health, you want to be strong, you want to feel energized, you want to look your very best. Those are certainly my goals on a regular basis. And I've had that goal since I was a preteen, of just wanting to be in great shape, you know, and I've gone through a lot of ups and downs, unhealthy periods, healthy periods. And when I say unhealthy and healthy, I mean health in terms of how I feel and look, but also my emotional state around it. So for me right now, a huge part, the two big things that I'm focused on is like eating well and also exercising enough, which are the two biggest things or the main things, maybe the only things when it comes to your health. And it's surprisingly hard to stick to those for me. Some people find it's naturally easy for them to eat really well and to exercise a lot. Or they're just very good at putting themselves in the positions to create healthy habits for themselves or stick to these goals. For me, I get a little wishy-washy, and that's actually just true of my personality overall. So using this example of fitness, health, and diet, actually I've noticed if I just look at that on kind of this, I guess, micro level, the macro level would be that the way that I handle fitness and eating well, the way that I respond to that, the way that I commit to that, the habits I build around that actually pertain to pretty much everything in my life. So sometimes it takes examining parts of your life with this microscope and saying, how am I showing up here? And am I showing up that way in every other aspect of my life? Evie, you don't need to lick, honey. Evie's very good at listening when I ask her not to lick herself. I always get self-conscious, like that she's distracting people if she's licking or chewing on herself in the background. It's funny also, just as a side note, Evie like knows when I'm recording a video. She almost always sits within view on my bed or my couch. It's really interesting. She doesn't always do that. Anyways, so I joined a yoga studio last fall, and it's not inexpensive. So it's an expensive membership. It's an investment for me. So every month I'm paying a pretty high yoga membership. And that's motivated me because I don't want to waste my money. And they also have like different rates depending on when you sign up and how many months you're a member and all that. So I've also been motivated because I don't want to cancel my membership because I don't want to lose the rate that I'm at. So I kind of like have put myself in this position to be very committed to yoga. But honestly, I face a lot of resistance when it comes to working out. I have to drive 30 minutes or 20 to 30 minutes to get to this yoga studio and park and go in and sign in, and there's like this whole process. So I am going to leave in about 15 minutes to go to yoga, and my yoga class doesn't start for 30 minutes. So I have to leave 45 minutes before class to get there and get all prepped and all that other stuff. It's a commitment. And then I do an hour-long yoga class. It's hot yoga, so I have to shower afterwards, and I have to drive home, and it's just kind of exhausting overall, right? So when you think about it, I love the experience when I'm in class most of the time. I feel great. My body really looks good. It responds to things, but yet this resistance comes up where I'm like, oh, I'm too tired today to go to yoga. Oh, like I don't feel like driving, like, oh, like all that time it takes. Sometimes it's simply the time that I feel this resistance to. And I bring this up because there's this, you can look at it like this resistance sitting there, like all these excuses. And just specifically talking about yoga, but you can apply this to anything. All these excuses for me not to go to yoga. And yet the results are so good. And so it's like the scale where you have your resistance on one side and then the benefits, the rewards, the outcome that you really want on the other. And it's like, what's more important? And so, again, this might seem very obvious, but it doesn't know, even though it's obvious, it doesn't always convince us to do things, if that makes sense. So for me, obviously, I want to be really strong. I want to find muscles. I want a flat stomach. I want to feel really good. I want good posture. Like I want good flexibility. Like yoga to me is just like everything I could possibly want for my body. I can get from yoga, especially if I'm eating really well. The diet side comes into play too, right? So many good things, so many goals are being reached, so much is tied into my desires for life. And yet, most days of the week, the resistance comes up. Most day of the week, I kind of just feel in a funk and I'm like, I'm too tired, I'm not going to yoga. I don't really feel like it today. That's too annoying. Like, oh, they don't have any good classes. My favorite teachers aren't teaching today. Like, I will have like every excuse possible. And it's so interesting because every week I face this. Every week I have to sit there and go like, why am I resistant to going? It's the best yoga studio I've ever been to. It's my favorite workout that I've ever done. Like, everything logically makes sense as to why I would want to go here. Versus you could look at a situation like this and be like, maybe it's not the right fit for you. No, I know for sure in this case that it's all pure resistance. And that's also a good thing to bring up too, because sometimes we face resistance because what we're doing or what we're trying to do is not the right fit for us. There's something off about it. There's something wrong. Sometimes there's like an intuitive resistance, and it's important to identify that. Sometimes we're in a funk because we need to be, because we need to recover. Like, again, talked about that in the last video and other videos before that, like how I was in this like almost 6-month period of time where I didn't want to do any work. That was awful, but there was a reason, there was a purpose for it. I needed to take a break. You know, I had to just wait it out. And sometimes that's the case with resistance. But the big thing that I wanted to bring up today is that what I've discovered for myself is that when it comes to yoga, but also when it comes to many other similar things in my life, I have to push myself through the resistance in order to figure out if the resistance is real or not. Does that make sense? So sometimes there's literal blocks there that are there for a reason, that are purposeful, that we really shouldn't be pushing past them. But I would say, at least in my experience, it's actually rare that that's the case. Many times those blocks are an illusion. My friend Jason, who I was talking about with this last night, brought up an amazing anecdote, which was about, I think it was Michael Jordan. Now, I'm not a sports fan, so I apologize if I messed the story up, but this came from Jason. He was telling me how there's a famous story of, I think, Michael Jordan, if any of you guys are basketball fans, let me know, who played a game while he had the flu. And he said that it was such a remarkable thing because for the majority of people, when we have the flu, we're going to stay home from work. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be in bed. We're going to recover. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't get sick that often. But I remember in the times that I have been sick, and especially as a kid when I would get sick, I would be kind of grateful for it. I'd be like, yes, I don't have to go to school today. Yes, I can stay home from work. What happened actually as I got older is I would have this internal battle of like wanting to be sick, but also feeling guilty for being sick when I calling in sick to work. Because you're like, maybe people don't believe me, or maybe I'm not sick enough. And this was the interesting thing. Part of what I thought was interesting about this story of the flu is that if this basketball player was so committed to playing a game, it was like a championship. I don't know all the facts of this, but in my mind, it was like a very important basketball game that he had to play, and he did it even though he had the flu. The average person would be like, sorry, I have the flu, I can't play. But when you're somebody that a whole team is relying on, or anybody in general is relying on, and you have something of utmost importance, you can push through the resistance even if it's physical resistance. And I think part of the reason Jason brought this up is, for me, I think I was telling him how I go to really challenging yoga classes, like the hardest I've ever done. And I'm going to one tonight. That's part of the resistance, right? Is like, I know that for 50 minutes straight, I'm going to be pushed harder than I've ever been pushed. Like, I know yoga, not a lot of people can imagine yoga being really hard, but like these teachers combine yoga with all this other forms of fitness. So it's incredibly hard, and it takes a lot of endurance and strength to get through these classes. And I was telling Jason how one thing that I found really interesting within myself is that I can often push through the resistance to get to class, but then the next level of resistance becomes the physical resistance, right? So sometimes there are multiple levels of resistance in our lives. And so number one is just getting yourself to do something. But the next element, once you've actually started doing it, is how far are you going to push yourself within that task? So whether it's a work task, a personal task, a physical task, a mental task, whatever category, getting yourself there is half the battle, or just the beginning of the battle, right? So for me, once I get to the studio, then it becomes, okay, how do I push past all of my physical resistance to these workouts? And it's been a really interesting mental thing for me, because I've started to learn, and started to believe at least, that how you show up in a workout is mostly about working through emotional resistance to it. Another good example is running, right? I always feel like running is really like it has a lot to do with resistance in your mind, the emotional side of it. And for me, it's like I have so much resistance to running, and I'll like run a little bit and I'll be like, I'm tired, I need to slow down, or I gotta turn around, or that's as far as I can go. But like, my body is physically capable of doing a lot more, but I allow my mental resistance to stop me. And that's what I've been working through a lot in my yoga classes, is showing up there and saying, how hard can I push myself? And when I hit that point where I want to stop, can I go further? And do I actually need to stop? And the truth is, I probably never need to stop. One of my favorite yoga teachers will always say, during the hard parts of the class, she'll say, you're safe, you can do it. And she'll say things similarly to that to remind you in the class that and sometimes she'll literally say, I'm never going to tell you to do something that you can't physically do. And you know, the more I go to the class, the more that resonates with me in different levels, is, wow, like, I should take that very literally, because there's a number of times in class where I'm like, nope, that's too hard, or I've done enough reps, I deserve a break, or I'm just gonna pause here, or whatever. Like, I have all these like little excuses for not pushing myself as hard. And then I look around the room and I see the majority of the other people in the class are like pushing themselves so hard, and part of me is like, I kind of feel like a wimp that I'm not pushing myself that hard, right? And so when I can step away from that and go, wait a second, why am I not pushing myself that hard? Why am I allowing myself to stop? Do I need to stop? Does my body actually need to stop, or does my mind want me to stop? So I bring this up because whether you can relate to this from a physical fitness side of things, or any element of your life can really be applied to this. So work. I talked about this funk that I was in for a while. I had so much resistance when it came to doing my work. I had all these things I wanted to do. Eco Vegan Pal was one of them. And every day I'd wake up and be like, okay, I'm going to work on Eco Vegan Pal today. And I wouldn't do it. And then I would feel horrible, and I'd be like, why am I not doing this work? What is happening with this funk? It was massive, massive resistance. Now, as I said, there seemed to be some purpose for that funk, but another side of me is also thinking maybe there wasn't really a purpose. Maybe I just was in a horrible bout of resistance and didn't have the emotional tools or awareness to work through it. And sometimes that can happen too. Sometimes we know that we could be doing better, but we still choose not to. It's like me in my yoga classes. This is going to be really interesting for me tonight. In about an hour when I'm in yoga, I'll be thinking about the things I'm saying right now and being like, here I am again, hitting that resistance wall. It's easier said than done. There's a lot of things that we know that we can do, and there's things that we know we quote unquote should do, things that we want to do. The question is, are you going to do them, resistance or not? Are you going to let these blocks, these imagined blocks, or these actual blocks that you could climb over? Or are you going to look at them and say, that wall's too high, I can't get over it? Or, I'll come back tomorrow when I have a ladder. You know, like, we can think of all of these different things to allow ourselves not to do things, to not allow ourselves not to reach our true potential and get the things that we really want. You know, like I've been saying for many, many years, I want my body to be in a certain shape of fitness, but I've never been in the shape that I would really like. Probably because of all this resistance I've had. And maybe there's deeper levels to it. Maybe there's part of me that is playing small on purpose. And I bet you that there's a lot of truth in there that I'll have to dig in another time. All right, I'm going to wrap things up because I do need to go to yoga. I'm not going to let this video be part of my resistance, but I saw some comments come in that I want to read. Alicia said, I find this topic really interesting. I'm in the arena of exercise sports science, so this is something that I've thought about multiple times. We have such resistance to things we know we could potentially make us feel great, but still resist to follow through with the action. Absolutely. Steve earlier said, I definitely know what you mean about resistance to exercise. Kim says that she can relate. I think she meant to resistance in general. And I just want to say hello to Nod8D. So I'm going to wrap it all up, you guys. I would love your feedback. So the best way, unless you type really fast right now and I read it on screen, I would love for a comment on the recorded video. For some reason, there haven't been a lot of comments lately, which seems a little unusual for you guys. So I'm like, is there a glitch in the system, or are you just being really quiet? I don't know, but I just want to make sure that if you have something to say that it's seen. So if you ever type a comment and it doesn't show up, let me know. If you've been holding back, please consider sharing it either publicly or privately. You can always direct message me through any social media network or email me. Or you guys can become members of Eco Vegan Pal. If you missed the beginning of this recording, I announced that Eco Vegan Pal is now live. You can join, and I have a special deal happening for new members. So you can go to ecoveganpal.com. It's being worked on right now, so there's a lot more design coming and more information going to be put up there, but I just tried to get up the basics so that it's up there right now for you. If you join, you get 2 months free. Become an annual member, you get 2 months free. You get a copy of Healthy Organic Vegan on a Budget for yourself, or if you already have a copy to give to somebody else. You also, if you're one of the first 12 people to sign up, you're going to get a special customized care package from me full of all sorts of eco-vegan goodies. So go check it out. If you have any questions about Eco Vegan Pal, again, email me, message me, comment on this video. I will answer as soon as possible. This is just the beginning for Eco Vegan Pal, and I already have incredible members in there. It's just like, I'm so excited about this platform. It's a huge dream come true. I had to work through a lot of resistance to make it happen, you guys, so this is a big deal for me. All right, I gotta go jump in the car and drive to Beverly Hills. Oh, LA life. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Patrick, for being here. And everyone else, I deeply appreciate you, whether you're watching live or the recording. Remember that I do live videos every Monday at 5 p.m., so mark your calendar if you're eager to be here. Or set up an alert. You can actually click the alert button on YouTube and they'll be notified via email when the videos are live. You can catch me on Eco Vegan Gals, the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, the Instagram account. I go live there very frequently as well. And I just love to stay in touch with all of you. I really am deeply invested in each of your lives. So the more I can get to know you, the better, which again is exactly why Eco Vegan Pal exists. Stay tuned for more information. You can sign up for the newsletter, which is linked down below in the description if you want to get notified about things like Eco Vegan Pal and all the other things I'm working on. I'm working on new ebooks and courses and events and just so much. I've come out of a lot of funk. So yeah, I have a lot to share with you as a result. And if you guys have any more questions or comments related to this topic, I would love, love, love to hear it. So leave a comment on the YouTube channel. All right, I will see you next Monday at the very latest. Maybe I'll do a spontaneous video in the meantime. But in between now and then, all the very best to you with your own journeys, working through your own resistance and funk, and getting to that place where you feel as healthy and happy as possible is really what I wish for each and every one of you. Until next time, guys. See you then.